Kim from Honey Trail Farm. I'm out at the high tunnel once again, and I've got my Ziploc baggie of seeds. Have I mentioned I'm a seed hoarder? I love different varieties. I love to hoard them. I have one last row behind me, back there, that I haven't planted yet. I'm going to plant my kale in some of it, and then the other part I'm going to completely cut the fabric off. You can see it's just a big long bed that has my extra starts on it, but I'm gonna cut the fabric like in a rectangle so that it can stay over the pathways and things to keep the weed pressure down, but it does protect me from having to weed all of that. I'm going to sow my things that I'm gonna direct sow for the fall, and hopefully they do okay. The only tricky thing about direct sowing your fall seeds is you have to pay attention to soil temperature. So right now that the sun is out, underneath this black fabric is probably pretty toasty, but the weather is starting to change, drifting towards fall, which is sad for me. I hate, I used to get really excited about fall and all the fall things, and now I dread it because all my plants will die and it'll be winter, and I don't like winter. But I am ready for a slowdown, I will tell you that. I've been standing in my kitchen the entire month of August, which in the beginning you're really excited for, but it starts to get old. But I've been putting away tons of things. I have well over 200 jars, mostly quartz too, put away so far this year, so that's exciting, but that's why I haven't been as active on YouTube, because I've just been slaving away. Oh. No, man. I just saw cabbage moth trying to lay her eggs on my plants. All my starts that I put in honestly looked kind of sad when I put them in, and they still look kind of sad, but they are setting new growth in the middle, so I think everything's gonna be okay. I got my drip irrigation in the mail, but I haven't yet unboxed it. It looked very complicated when I looked on the outside of the box, but I will be putting drip irrigation in this tunnel to make it easier to water. I'm just gonna experiment. This is my first fall garden, and I know that my lettuces, because I'm just gonna do baby greens, so I'm just gonna take a bunch of packs of lettuces, because for whatever reason I have a million different varieties of lettuce. I'm just gonna mix them together, the ones that are more winter hardy. I'm gonna mix those with some kale seeds that I have saved, and some that are getting older in these packets. I have a couple packs of mezclun mix, which is typically lettuces, beet tops. Oh look, it tells you. Arugula, kale, endive, chervil, I don't know, radicchio, red romaine, bib, and salad greens. So it's just varieties of lettuces. Those will be easy to harvest all winter, plus it's a really quick crop. I have a couple different varieties of spinach I want to do, but these are all things that I'm going to go ahead and direct sow, because if you don't try, you won't get any harvest. So you might as well try. I am going to, I've got kohlrabi that I don't know if I'll have time for either. Some of the things that probably won't mature all the way before there's not enough sunlight and growth starts to slow down, I'm still gonna try to sow, even though these Rutabagas say you need 80 to 90 days, and we definitely don't have that. Maybe I can limp them along, keep them alive all winter, so that by springtime, when the days are starting to get longer and the temperatures are starting to warm up, then they will take off and grow then, and I can have an early batch of Rutabagas then. So I'm just gonna experiment, see what works and what doesn't. Same thing with the carrots. I know that I probably don't have enough time to get a full-size carrot, but maybe if I plant some now, I'll get baby carrots, or carrots are super cold tolerant actually, and if I can keep the tops alive, sorry, there's a bee on my camera. If I can keep them alive, same thing like the rutabagas, by springtime when the temperatures are when the days are getting longer, because these things can grow through the winter, it's really the daylight hours that mess them up. Maybe by then I can have an early spring crop of carrots. So we'll just see. I'm gonna experiment. No harm, no foul. I already have millions of seeds. These are just seeds I could direct sow now. There's lots of packs of seeds in here. So I'm gonna get to it. Kale spacing is about 12 inches apart. So I'm gonna run 2 rows of it. And I'm gonna space them out about 10 inches apart. I might not actually plant these. Ugh. The one bad thing about, the only downfall of planting your fall crops outside, because I loved the fact that these grew outside and I did not have to harden them off. It was so easy. But you really, next year I will probably invest in an insect netting, because the little cabbage worms, you have to hand pick them off, which I have been doing, and it's not too bad, but they do destruct a little bit. I'm probably gonna have to use some BT or something on these plants out here, because I just saw that the cabbage moths have found them and they will be laying their eggs. This is both kale and collards. I just have like traditional Georgia collards. I'm just gonna cut a big rectangle into this fabric so that I can direct seed some stuff. I'm gonna find some scissors. I'm back with scissors. I think that'll work better. Oh yeah, like butter. Just sliding. There we go. Now I've got my rectangle that I'm gonna direct sow into. I'm going to pre-moisten it with water, nice and deep. At the very end, I'm just gonna do a few carrots because I really don't wanna waste space if it's not gonna work. And I'm kind of choosing carrots on the smaller side so that they have the best chance at survival. And I'm just gonna put them in here with no rhyme or reason. I'm just going to sprinkle on top and I will thin them later. Or not, who knows? But when you plant carrot seeds, one trick that I'm going to do is lay something on top. So I have some old frost fabric in the barn from the springtime. And I'm just going to lay that on top. Ooh, look, a rock. Lay that on top of the soil so that the seeds don't dry out. And this is called willy-nilly. You just sprinkle them thick. I'm gonna do it thick because these seeds are a couple years old anyway. So, if some don't germinate, and also I'm gonna sow them thick because of the soil temperature, although it really is not too bad. Just for a little extra insurance. The carrots that I used first were little finger carrots. They're a smaller carrot, so they will probably have time to mature, but who knows? This says 55 days till maturity, and I'm like right at 55 days until our first frost. But with the days getting shorter, you really need longer than that. You need to add probably 10 or 20 days on whatever your seed packet says because the day length is getting shorter and shorter. Ooh, I loved these carrots, and I'm so glad that I got them as a free seed this year. I got them from Baker Creek, but obviously I've gotten them before. It's called Uzbek Golden Carrot, and they are so sweet. They're like this chunky, like thick carrot, and it's not very long, but it is so sweet. But I'm gonna go ahead and use them all because why not? Kitty! Want to see how I'm marking where the end of the carrot row is I'm just using the package with a rock on it. Next, I'm going to sow my lettuce seeds, which I'm just gonna do as baby greens, and I'm gonna mix it, but I'm just going to create a handful of different kinds of seeds, like green seeds. Mix them together and sprinkle them in. So far, I have put in the lettuce mix and red Russian kale. Black-seeded Simpson lettuce. Yeah, we'll throw that in here. It sounds good. And I'm not doing rows or anything like that with these either. So here's my seed mixture. I've already got some of it, but I was just gonna show you how I am sowing it because there is no rhyme or reason. I'm just thickly sowing it, and that will make really tender small leaves instead of heads of lettuce or kale. And this lettuce actually needs light to germinate. Ooh, big spider. So I'm just gonna leave the seeds as is, but I'm gonna press them in so that they don't blow away because they're tiny little things. I'm gonna do the spinach kind of just like I did for the lettuce, and I'm gonna do that baby green fashion. So I'm doing things as baby greens. For one, the plants are gonna be shorter, closer to the ground, so I'm hoping more cold tolerant, but also I don't have a whole lot of space right here, and I just want to fit it in. So baby greens really save space, plus you're not growing the plant to maturity, so you can keep cutting on it, and it'll keep growing back, so you get a longer life. I think I'm gonna do arugula before I forget. Arugula gets really spicy, I feel, if you let it get all the way mature. So once again, I'm gonna follow the trend of doing baby greens because when you're harvesting arugula on the smaller side, it's not quite as spicy. I have a few different varieties of beets. I have this sugar beet. It says 50 days to maturity. I have albino beets. And I bought these lighter colored ones on the promise of them not being so dirt flavored. So, and I grew these last year and I liked the white beets. Plus, when you're cutting them, they don't stain everything that purple. While the color of traditional beets is beautiful, the color is everywhere. So I'm gonna plant a mixture of these albino beets. It says 4 to 6 inches apart, and then I have a couple more varieties that I just picked up at like Rural King. One is Early Wonder Beet, which is your classic red beet, and the other one is Cylindra, and it grows these like longer icicle looking beets, so I thought that would be fun. Lastly, I am just going to try some of these Rutabagas, and if they don't come to fruition, they don't. But if they do, it will be magical. And the spacing on these is 6 to 8 inches apart, so I'm probably just gonna do like 6. I just did a couple rows of the Rutabagas because I don't want to take up too much space if I know that they're not going, if I don't know for sure that they're gonna make something. And in the last part of the row, I'm gonna squeeze in this kohlrabi. If you haven't grown kohlrabi before, but you like cabbage, you're gonna like this. I'm just gonna sprinkle these in and thin them later. I might regret that. I might not. Who knows? My kale behind me, I'm probably gonna wait until tomorrow evening to actually plant that because I don't want to stress the plants out, and tomorrow's supposed to be really hot. So I'm just gonna get this bed that I direct sowed really good and watered. You want to make sure, especially when it's hot out, and I'm planting directly into compost, which dries out really easily. Maybe tomorrow on the list I will get my drip irrigation set up, hopefully, fingers crossed. But if not, I'm just gonna be really diligent about coming out here multiple times a day and watering, because the most important part of sowing in late summer is keeping the ground moist so that your seeds can germinate. So thank you guys so much for watching today. Until next time, don't forget to remember what you planted. So watch this. Hey Siri, can you make a note for me that says carrots, lettuce greens, spinach, arugula, I already forgot what I planted. Oh no, I already forgot. Oh well.